Hi, I'm Trevor Lund, and today I'm so pleased to be able to introduce to you Elaine Armstrong. And I think we met on Twitter, and I'm not really sure exactly how I meet some of these incredible people, but I really want you to hear Elaine's story. Uh, we she's a mom. She is an inventor. She's an entrepreneur. She's got some really incredible things on the go, and she's got an incredible story that we're going to get to too. But Elaine, welcome to RevTrev TV and radio. I guess I'm doing this for both. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. First of
Thank you.
all, yeah, everyone should know I'm in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and she is just outside of London, right?
That's right.
Where
About an hour from London.
she's put her kids to bed, and my kids are trying to be quiet behind me. So I don't know how that's going to work out. But um, anyway, Elaine, can you just tell a little bit of your story? Who are you? Who do you see yourself as? Who do you see, like what? I guess what I'm trying to get at is who do you think God sees you
Oh gosh.
as?
Now God sees me differently. I guess where he and I agree is that he's made me to see my creativity. He is the creator,
Mm,
and I see creativity in me. So I see my father reflected in me in that way. I wish I could see him in more ways reflected in my life, but that I guess that's a big one for me, is that I see myself as creative. Um, I have gone forth and multiplied. I am a mum. I have four children, and God gave me the gift of teaching, so I'm a school teacher as well. And I guess just through the experience of family life, I stumbled across a couple of ideas and came up with my latest product, Bite Back.
tell me about that. Like, how did that idea come about, and how have you about the journey with that too? Like, what is Bike Back? Let people know.
Okay, Bike Back is a towing device for a small child's bicycle. So it's their first bike, and it has the little stabilizer wheels on. And mum and dad usually get really excited when this bike arrives, usually around the third birthday. And they think, great, we can walk at a normal pace because Junior can jump on their bike and ride along beside us. And of course, after about two lampposts, you find yourself pulling this bike along. So bending over and hurting your back and,
Yeah.
you know, moaning and groaning. So basically, it's a small platform on wheels, which essentially it's a skateboard for bikes. You can pull the bike really comfortably and easily along behind you using this little platform that
And
I've nicknamed Bike Back.
and basically it's for kids. You were saying 3 years old, and what kind of age frame would that be for?
It's kind of 3 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
It's when they're not yet riding fully independently.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just experimenting. So they're just getting used to a bike. Maybe they can't even reach the pedals that well. And instead of maybe having a trike and feeling very babyish with mum with a handle on the back of a trike, they can get a real bike, but mum or dad can just give them a little bit of action by pulling them along, comfortably for them, and great fun. The kids love it. Great fun for them.
Now you've got to have a story behind that. You're a mom. Were you the one that was kind of going running behind them to get them going and things like that, or went too many trips to the park, or what? How did that
Oh, for
come about?
sure. I I have I had three children under 22 months because I was fortunate enough to be blessed with twins.
Mm.
But that meant going to the park with two 3 year olds and a 5 year old, and two 3 year olds on their own bikes. And when one gives up, it's bad enough. You've got a bike to deal with and you've got two hands to hold. And then, having twins exacerbated the problem. I had three hands to hold, two bikes to manage, and it was just impossible. I mean, I was forever leaving bikes in people's gardens behind bushes and things, hoping they'd be there when we got back because they'd given up riding. So that was basically where it started.
And what about the process? So you've got this idea, and I'm really interested in the entrepreneurial process, and um, where do you go with that idea? Did you have to connect with somebody, or what was the how do you get it developed in the first place? What do you do?
And To be honest, initially it was just satisfying my curiosity. This idea popped into my head, especially after seeing lots of other mums struggling with the same thing, you know, and using various methods to solve the problem, like dog leads around the front and scarves and bits of rope and all kinds of things. And so I literally just went to a DIY store and got a bit of wood and some wheels and started cutting a shape with a jigsaw. And to my amazement, after about 2 hours, I had something that worked. You know, I dropped the front wheel into the wheel slot, and off I went. And it maneuvered and it steered and it went around tight corners. And I thought, I could be onto something here. and I kind of actually at that point couldn't take it any further commercially. But I did consult. This was the first of many divine appointments. I met someone in our home village who was a retired patent lawyer, who agreed to draft the first patent for near to nothing.
And you've got patents for this in the UK. Do you got them in Canada, the US as well, or do you have to do those separately, or how does that work?
You have to do it. You have to do it all separately. I started off with the UK, and then after a year, this is by now 2007, applied for Europe and the USA. The USA is quite tricky to get a patent in. To be honest, it's difficult to get a patent anywhere, and we're still going through the process. We're still patent pending.
Right.
And it costs a lot of money. Be warned, it costs a lot of money.
Well, and you've got to, you patent the idea, and it's got to be, do you like in the US, you've got to prove that it's not like anything else kind of thing? And like,
Absolutely.
I've seen people with diagrams showing, like this is so much of a degree and this is so much of a degree and all these different things, and just blows me away. Now, I saw on your website, which is bikeback.co.uk, that you have been on something called The Next Big Thing. Britain's Next Big Thing?
Britain's Next Big Thing, yes, that's right.
Now, my daughter and I absolutely love this show in Canada called Dragon's Den. And I'm wondering if it's the same sort of thing. Like, it's like the entrepreneur goes in front of this group of investors and tries to do a pitch. And we love it just because, sometimes I got to turn it off because the language gets kind of harsh here. But in the U.S., there's a show called Shark Tank. Is that sort of the same kind of idea for Britain's Next Big Thing?
It's not exactly, because the show that I was on was looking for new products for the high street, and what they did was get you to pitch to real life retail high street buyers.
Oh, okay.
So they put you in front of the people that make the decisions, and I don't know whether it's the same in Canada and the US, but it's very difficult to get in front of buyers here. So it was almost like a competition to get through the application process to get the opportunity to pitch to buyers on the high street. It so happens that the presenter of the show is a dragon in the UK, Theo Prophetus. He's a well-known dragon, and he was the presenter of the show, and each of us was interviewed by him at least once, and he actually came and visited us at home and met the children and spent the afternoon with us, which was quite cool. Unfortunately, he didn't bring his wad of money with him or invest in my product, but that wasn't his purpose in this particular program.
Okay. Where are we at for time? I'm just trying to look there. Okay, we're gonna end this episode pretty quick here. But what you're going through the process now? What has encouraged you going through this entrepreneurial process? What I know it's got to be difficult. There's obstacles every step along the way. And what has been something that encourages you? Because someone is watching this today that is going through the same sort of pursuit of the dream. And they're coming against giant after giant after giant after giant. And what would you say to them? What has encouraged you, and how can you encourage someone in that?
I think to begin with, you have to be really passionate about your idea, but you also have to be really harsh with yourself and know that it is a good idea. So going outside of friends and family who really want to encourage you. I always think of something called the X Factor. I don't know whether you have something similar, like a Pop Idol type program in America.
Yeah.
and Canada. And there's obviously people in that show that can't sing. And yet their family and friends have told them it's absolutely amazing, that they've got the best voice in the whole world.
Yeah.
You have to be real with yourself about what you're doing. And I think so long as you keep it real, you've got a very good chance of making it. And then it's just, once you know you've got that good idea, is having the vision to take it where it needs to go. So I used to stand in stores that I knew were right for my product and vision them on the shelves.
Mm-hmm.
I could see the boxes, the packaging, the name. I would watch customers coming in and think, you're a Bike Back customer, you know. Um, and it was really seeing the unseen, having faith to believe for the things that are unseen, that kept me going.
That's so encouraging. Thank you so much for that. Next time we're going to talk about divine appointments that she's had, because I just got a synopsis of her journey, and God showed up at some really neat times, but more importantly, she's been aware of those times. And so in the next episode, we're going to talk to Elaine about divine appointments and how God is probably doing the same thing for you too. So thank you, Elaine. And
You're very welcome. Thank you, Trevor.
If people want to find out more about Bike Back and kind of give you their comments on it, is the best place to go your website?
Absolutely, yes.
And
yes, they can fill out a form there, and it'll come straight through to my personal email, and I will answer them each bag.
Wow, that's impressive. bikeback.co.uk. Yeah, so thank you. That's this week's episode, and we will get back to you next week with more. Thank you very much, Elaine. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
This episode has been brought to you by Expectancy Press, resources that impart hope and empower destiny. When you choose to purchase products from expectancypress.com, you're supporting the work of Expectancy Ministries. Are you a little afraid to do what God's told you to do? Get a copy of How Big Is Your Butt by Trevor Lund today.